From the O'Connell Center on the campus of the University of Florida in Gainesville, Sun Sports presents Florida Gator Gymnastics. Tonight, it's the Gators playing host to the Arkansas Razorbacks. And a very pleasant good evening to you. Along with Melissa Miller-Schubeck, I'm Larry Vitale, and we're welcoming you to what promises to be an excellent night of gymnastics. The third-ranked Florida Gators and number 9 Arkansas. And Melissa, saying third-ranked Florida is pretty impressive. This is a team that lost so many seniors from a year ago, yet the Gators haven't missed a beat.
Well, they've lost some great gymnasts, but they've also returned 5 All-Americans. Now, let me tell you about the talent of this Florida team. They have 5 potential all-arounders that can go out onto the floor, and they excel in every single event. And not only that, but the gymnasts that set out last year due to injuries are back in the lineup and healthy. And Florida's going to be hard to contend with for a national championship. And
we'll see all of them in action tonight. And talking about those all-arounders, Florida's got a lot of depth and talent in all-around.
They do. They have Corey Hartung, an All-American. They also have senior Ashley Reed. And they have the nationally ranked number 1 gymnast in Melanie Sinclair. And all 3 of those gymnasts have already won all-around titles this season.
In fact, Florida's had 3 meets, and a different Gator's been the all-around winner each and every time. Now for Arkansas, they come in ranked number 9, and the Lady Razorbacks, the Gymbacks as they're sometimes called, they're wanting to do something special tonight.
Well, Arkansas has come off a big win against Penn State, and they have one goal this season, and that is to beat an SEC opponent that they have not beaten before. They faced Florida 15 times, and they're hoping to win this time. They haven't beat them yet, but they're hoping to do that today with the help of sophomore Casey Jo McGee.
Well, I tell you, one person who doesn't want to see that happen tonight is Florida coach Rhonda Fain. We talked with the Gator coach before the meet to get her thoughts on matching up with the Razorbacks.
We're looking to be able to put out our top lineup today. We were able to rest quite a few of the strong routines that we had from the last weekend when we were at Auburn, so we're looking to be able to get them back out there and to be able to put up a strong performance.
Well, we're just about set for our first rotation. The Florida Gators will vault Arkansas on the bars when we return on Sun Sports. And we've got some members of the Gator women's basketball team throwing T-shirts up to the crowd here at the O'Connell Center as we get set for our first rotation. Florida on vault and Arkansas on the bars, and Melanie Sinclair first for the Gators.
She's competing Yurchenko with a full twist. 1 step on the end. We're talking about the deductions for these steps. 1 step is going to be about a 10th deduction, very small movement, 5 100ths, and a large step or hop is going to be 2 tenths. That's probably going to be about a 1/10 deduction.
9.85, so without that step would have been a great score for Sinclair as she gets it started for the Florida Gators. Now over to the bars, and here's Amy DiFilippo, a sophomore for the Arkansas Gymbacks. She was a beam and bars performer last year for this team, and this is an event she's pretty strong in.
Very strong giant, full pirouette. Nice reverse heck. You see slight form break at the bottom of those giants. The judges are really looking at the bottom, the tap swings, the giant swings, not just what's happening on the top. Again, a slight form break on that movement to the high bar. All she has left here is her dismount. Giant full pirouette to a nice high tuck double back, and just a very slight movement on that ending.
Very slight indeed. We'll see if it costs her at all. Amy DiFilippo with a solid bars routine.
I think some of the form breaks are really going to affect her score here. Great form on that tuck double back, though, and a solid landing.
9.725 the score for DiFilippo. Now we go back over to the vault, and Florida's Tiffany Murray, who was a great vaulter in 06, but did not vault in 07 due to injuries.
And she's ranked number 7 nationally on this event. Yurchenko full and a great finish.
Boy, what a boost to the Gator lineup to have her back vaulting.
This and Flora, the 2 events that she competes the most, and you can see she's so strong, so powerful. Great lift off the horse, great body position, and she nails it.
Tiffany Murray, a 9.875. That's the score for the Gator senior out of Orlando. We'll go back over to bars. Here's Emily Peacock. She's a senior.
She set the school record on this event during her sophomore year with a 9.95. Very consistent on the bars. Nice healing into her release move, Jaeger. Pack salto down to the low bar. They're looking at bar changes, grip changes, direction changes, and flight elements in the uneven bar set. As Power Giants into a double layout, perfect landing.
So a couple of good bars routines for Arkansas. This is actually their lowest rated event of the 4 as far as their national standing.
And she had a great finish there on that double layout.
Boy, I love it when someone just sells it to the judge and say, you got to give me a good score. I loved it. 9.80 is that good score. And here's Corey Hartung, who is looking to remain perfect in winning the vault in every event this year that she's competed at.
You see Yurchenko 1.5 twist and a great landing. She is ranked number 1 in the nation on this event. She's been consistent, 9.9s, 9.975s this year. A little bit of leg separation as you see there on the round-off entry, but the judges are on the side. They're probably not able to notice that.
And maybe didn't see the leaning tower there at the end as well. 9.925 for Hartung, who will once again be very tough to beat in this event. And now the top all-around gymnast for Arkansas, Casey Jo McGee, gets set to compete. She's a sophomore from Oregon.
2006, she won the Oregon State Bar Championship. It's a giant full pirouette. Nice pike Delchev, nice release move, great height. 1.5 twist, counter swing. She's quite tall. She's 5'4". Makes it a little bit harder for the taller gymnast to swing on this event, but she's doing very well. Nice giants, full twist and double back. Great finish.
Now you wonder about the judges there. As she raised her arms up, she kind of fell backwards. That may cost her a little bit.
She didn't. She nailed it and then really didn't hold that quite long enough. Trying to fake out the judges a little bit.
I think they saw it. 9.825, still an outstanding score for McGee. For Arkansas, now Florida's Amanda Castillo had a great vault against Georgia just a couple weeks back.
And she's an All-American in this event, placing 13th at the Nationals. Yurchenko full, the big hop there at the end.
Now, is that one that could be like 0.15 or something like that, a little more than a tenth, but not 2? Or?
Well, you're probably looking at about a 10th deduction. You see she drops her chest, but she's fighting for that landing. So, and again, it's all whatever the judges decide. It's very subjective.
That's the joy of competing is in this sport, and that is it is so subjective.
And also can be frustrating at times.
Ashley Reed, very consistent gymnast for the Gators.
She performs the hardest vault for the Gators. 1.5 twist, Yurchenko laid out, beautiful finish.
Gator senior Ashley Reed with an outstanding vault, wrapping up the Florida vault lineup.
Look at this lift, perfect body position, nice and straight, very slight deduction. That's probably a 5/100ths of a tenth deduction on that landing.
Not much of a deduction there for Reed, who finishes with a 9.90. The Florida Gators strong on vault as expected. Now they go to the event that's caused them trouble this year, the Gators on the bars, when we return to the O'Connell Center. Back at the O'Connell Center, our meet referee, a former Gator gymnast, Amy Bice-Peel-Dugood.
And Savannah Evans and Katie Rue, former Gator gymnast.
Of course, Amy, a teammate of yours.
That's right.
A couple of years ago.
SEC championships with me. We won that in 1989.
And Alicia Sacramone here in Gainesville this evening. She is a member of the U.S. national team and a former world vault champion. That's pretty cool when you're the best in the world at something.
Very impressive.
Casey Jo McGee leads off the vault for Arkansas.
Yurchenko half with a front layout. Taking a look at the lift off the horse. Half twist front layout. One little hop at the end.
Just a very consistent gymnast. Casey Jo McGee, 9.80 is her score. Now, the Gators have been struggling on bars, and their first routine included a fall, so a lot of pressure on Miranda Smith here to come through as she had to do against Georgia just 2 weeks ago.
And she's starting with Shaposhnikova. Great start for her routine. A little bit of form break at the bottom of that giant. Nice release move to Tkachev. Giant full. Bell handstand. You see her teammates cheering her on the side as she gets ready for her dismount. Very unique double front one little hop at the end.
But for the second consecutive time, Miranda Smith comes through in the clutch.
Again, some form breaks in this routine, but look at this great double front dismount, slight knee separation there, and just a slight deduction on the landing. Great routine for the Gators.
And a 9.75. That's a score Florida will be happy to keep. And now Amy DiFilippo, the sophomore.
She did not compete on the vault as a freshman. Stepping in right now with a Yurchenko half front layout. Not as quite the height off of the horse like she needed. A little bit of step on the landing. Also looking at the body positions coming off, looking for a nice hollow body. You see her little arch there, and that's going to affect her score.
Well, it didn't affect it too much. Apparently the vault judges liked it better than you did.
Again, it's subjective. You never know. It's just what that judge sees, too, and what they're focusing on.
Now Ashley Reed for the Gators.
She's a second-team All-American on this event. This is her favorite event. Nice high to Tkachev. She recently had added a pike Jaeger as well and has adjusted that in her routine after she had fallen against Georgia. You see a slight bobble there on her overshoot handstand.
And it appeared she was touched by their spotter, Gator assistant Coach Burdett.
Nice double layout. We'll see on the scoring if she was spotted or not. It'll definitely show up there. But a great routine for Ashley. Again, making adjustments in this routine. Nice release move.
And she was taken down a couple of tenths, 9.675. That routine certainly looked better than that score. So Reed penalized there, and now we go back over to the vault. Here's Samantha Cortez.
Career highs a 9.9 that she scored against the Gators 2 years ago. Nice Yurchenko full. They're looking for height off the horse and distance as well. Again, body position a little piked on that.
And a solid 9.80 as Arkansas continues to have solid routines, one after another, both on the bars and now on the vault. Now back to the Gators. Here's Amanda Castillo.
Be interesting to see how Amanda does. She did mess up on this event at Auburn, but she's a great performer, usually very consistent and strong. Giant blind Jaeger performed that very nicely. She's added a second release move to Tkachev. She's a second-team All-American on this event, and you can see why.
How much does it help to have that second release move?
Well, right now they're looking at avoiding compositional deductions in the routine, so they're looking at the total number of release moves. Nice double layout, great finish.
Crowd loves it here at the O'Connell Center.
One thing to note is all the Gator gymnasts are starting the routines at a 10-0 value. But again, the more difficulty put into the routine, that's going to separate them from the other athletes.
Castillo fell a week ago against Auburn, but today it's a 9.775 for the Gator. And now Michelle Stout.
A little bit low score on that bars, but again, they're really nitpicking on the bars, as you can see today. Some of the body positions not completing handstands. Yurchenko full. Big step there at the end. She had a lot of power. Looks like she just really wasn't able to control all that power.
Stout had a great meet against the Gators last year up in Fayetteville.
Great form, and again, just she needs to fight a little harder for that extra step there.
Oh, no, those steps more common earlier in the season as gymnasts experiment with things. We've seen a lot of steps tonight.
You know, they practice, I mean, every practice, that's what they focus on, sticking, and it's just depends on how it goes. You have a little more adrenaline at the competition. You could practice it and do it perfect in practice gym and then come in the competition and take that step. It just depends.
Now Florida's Corey Hartung.
She's beautiful on this event. Nice release move to Tkachev. She's been very consistent so far, tied for 24th nationally. Nice Corkina move, which we've not seen yet today. Again, she's added another release move to her routine this year, increasing the difficulty. Full twist and double back. Great finish for Corey. Taking a look at the dismount. Nice tight body, tuck, full twisting double back. Very slight deduction on that landing.
And a 9.80 for Hartung. So the Gators not getting a lot of bad scores, but not great scores either, as this team has continued to struggle with the little things on the bars after being a great bars team a year ago.
Right. And the judging might be a little bit more stringent on the uneven bars right now.
Certainly Arkansas felt they should have gotten a couple of larger numbers and did not, and the Gators feeling the same way in this rotation.
You see Melanie starting off with a Hindorf, very difficult release move. Giant full, nice high Ginger. She's a first-team All-American on the uneven bars, placing 5th at the national championship. And she's earned a 10 on this event a few times. All she has is her dismount. You see her speed giants gaining momentum, double layout, beautiful finish. You can see the look on her face. She knows if she sticks it, she's probably got a 10.
Taking a page out of Emily Peacock's playbook there, just selling it to the judges at the finish.
Well, she's got a great personality, just comes through in all of her events. But you can see she knows that could have been a 10. It was a great routine.
9.825 for Sinclair, a strong score for the Gators. We are midway through the competition. Florida heads over to the balance beam. It'll be floor exercise for Arkansas when we return. Florida coach Rhonda Fain's job a little more complicated this year, not only coaching a top 5 team, but 3.5 weeks ago gave birth to a son, Noah Emile Bayon.
It's obviously very challenging, but I'm very fortunate to be able to have the help not only of the grandparents, my parents, and also my husband's mother was here from France for 3 weeks, but also to be able to have the support of UAA and Jeremy Foley and Linda Teeler to be able to allow the freedom to be able to not be here in the office as often and to really focus a little bit more just on the gymnastics side of it. So all around, everyone has been very supportive and helpful.
A full turn, and their dismount should be at least a C dismount or a connection of a B plus a C, which is just the level of difficulty of the skill. All she has is her dismount. Round off double twist, very slight hop on the end, very solid routine for Ashley.
Ashley Reed, the Gator senior, performing on beam as usual.
Taking a look at the dismount, nice tight body. Maybe extend that out a little bit longer just to stick that landing.
9.850 the score for Reed. And I tell you, did a great job of the flow of the routine was certainly the best we've seen so far. Now back to the floor. Here's Emily Peacock.
And she is fun to watch on this event. She's ranked 24th on the Floor X nationally. And she just has a lot of energy and a lot of personality. Back handspring. She comes from a very athletic family. Her brother is a gymnast at the Air Force Academy. She also has a brother that's a level 10 gymnast. Her dad was a wrestler. Mom's a triathlete.
Wow.
Full turn. Got to say, that's one of the scariest things to do on the balance beam.
Really?
You don't want to fall on an easy skill, and it is one of those skills that's kind of easy to mess up on. And her dismount, round off, nice high double full. Great clean routine.
Sophomore from Mars, Pennsylvania, sets the tone for the Gators.
Great form. You see her just very tight.
.9875 for Zeiser. Now to floor exercise, and Casey Jo McGee. 2 good routines already in the bank for McGee.
Her career best on this event came at the national championship last year with a 9.8, just missing All-American honors.
She earned an individual trip to the NCAAs with a strong performance at regionals, even though the Arkansas team did not earn that trip.
That's right, and she starts with a 2.5 twist into a punch front. She performed so well at regionals as an individual, and that's a great thing. I know that she would love for her team to have gone, but she ended up doing very well at the national championship. Second pass, nice high tuck double back. And again, the judges are looking, as they finish these skills, how they're landing. A nice strong lunge like that is great. Bobbles and steps, you're gonna see deduction in the scoring.
course, you have to stay inside the line.
That's very important. That's a Rudy, a 1.5 twist. Nice solid finish in this routine. Little change of pace in the music. Fulfilling some of her dance requirements.
A little bit different. Most gymnasts seem to end with that final tumbling run, but McGee doing it a little bit different.
You see this nice, powerful tumbling that she has. Tuck double back, and she knew right where she was on that landing.
And another good score for Casey Jo McGee with a 9.80 on the floor exercise. Now over to balance beam. Here's Florida's Nicola Willis, battling illness all week long, struggled on the bars, so it's an important event for Nicola.
It is, and it's interesting to always see how the gymnasts come back throughout the evening after a mistake like she had on the bars.
Nicola did not compete on the beam for the Gators last season.
Punch front, very slight bobble. That's a hard skill. It's a blind landing. Straddle jumps.
And remind people that beam is 4 inches wide.
Mm-hmm. You always have to throw that in.
Oh, jeez. It scares me.
Cat leap and a switch side leap. She was also a member of the 2004 Olympic Games for Great Britain. There's that full turn. And the judges are also looking to see how they use the beam spatially, directions, different back and forth, going down on the beam. Are they doing things sideways? Using the beam all the way. Back handspring, layout, step out, full twist. Great finish.
And we had a long pause, though, before that finish, and that's something the judges will take into account as well.
Sure, sure. I mean, they've just got to keep the routine flowing. And she did that on that series there.
Nicola Willis with a 9.80 for the Florida Gators. We'll stay with the Gators on the beam, and here's Melanie Sinclair. Very, very entertaining and effervescent gymnast for sure.
Exciting to watch, and I love this mount. Front flip onto the side of the beam. She's a 2-time American on the balance beam, and she's tied for 15th nationally. Nice full twisting back handspring, very difficult on the balance beam, into a gainer, layout, step out.
Sinclair's been in every beam lineup for the Gators for her entire year, plus all of last year and all of this year to this point as well.
And just like the other events that she competes on, she just stands out. She has different skills, and it just makes it so neat to watch her routines. Full twisting back handspring with the straddle down. Now, one thing that they've done a little different considered when I was actually competing is now they can deduct for insufficient distribution of elements. What that means is they can't just do all the hard stuff at the beginning of the routine like I used to do. So they have to have everything balanced out. She's finishing here with a pike double back. Great routine for Melanie. I used to kind of put all the harder stuff near the beginning of the routine, then have her rest and just make it really easy from there, but that's not how they're doing it. You see that gainer back handspring layout, step out. Look at this dismount. Pike double back. A little bit of leg separation there. One step at the end.
But it doesn't cost her too badly. 9.85. I got to tell you, she's got some personality. And now Ashley Reed. Ashley Reed, just a very consistent performer for the Gators, has been really throughout her career.
She really has. As an individual last year, she won 6 beam titles, more than any other Gator. This is a great event for her. Switch leap into a gainer, one arm back handspring.
Reed had a superb beam routine against Georgia in the meet a couple of weeks ago. Got a 9.90 for that. Might have deserved a little more, at least some felt.
Back handspring, layout, back handspring, great connection. And again, the judge is looking for great rhythm in the routine, which is quite risky, just to keep it moving without pausing to hesitate and think about what's next. She does a very good job of this. In the routine, they need to have acro series, dance series, some type of a leap or jump with a 180-degree split. You see a nice C-zone there into a gainer, layout, step out. They also have to have a full turn, and their dismount should be at least a C dismount or a connection of a B plus a C, which is just the level of difficulty of the skill. All she has is her dismount. Round off double twist, very slight hop on the end, very solid routine for Ashley.
Ashley Reed, the Gator senior, performing on beam as usual.
Taking a look at the dismount, nice tight body. Maybe extend that out a little bit longer just to stick that landing.
9.850 the score for Reed. And I tell you, did a great job of the flow of the routine was certainly the best we've seen so far. Now back to the floor. Here's Emily Peacock.
And she is fun to watch on this event. She's ranked 24th on the Florex nationally. And she just has a lot of energy and a lot of personality. Look at this great tumbling, nice high pike double back. Of course, with the gymnast at most schools, I think they get to pick their music or maybe work with the choreography on their personalities to fit the routine that they're going to be doing so that they can perform it at their best.
And most judges like to see that interaction between the gymnast and the crowd, whether you're home or away.
Exactly. And really, this Florida crowd is so great about really appreciating routines like this and really getting into them. And that's what's great about the Florida fans. 1.5 twist, front layout. You were talking earlier about how just, you know, when she finishes, the strength and excitement, it really does make a good impression on the judges because she's excited about what she's doing. It makes it just so much easier.
It's hard to do, but you got to look like it's easy.
Exactly.
Make it look like it's easy and it's fun.
She scored a 9.9 on this event last year against Georgia. All she has left is that last tumbling pass, a little bit of rest before that pass. Tuck double back. Great landing.
Emily Peacock for the Arkansas Gymnastics.
Again, looking at this very powerful tumbling. It's a double back in the tuck position. Boy, her coach is just as excited as she is.
Absolutely selling it to the
Love to
judges.
see that. That's great.
And now Florida's Corey Hartung, third at the NCAA championships on the beam last year.
She's ranked second nationally at this point.
Florida as a team is actually #1 in the nation, both vault and beam. And they came through on the vault today very well.
Now, I like that skill. It's a back handspring layout step out, which you see all the time, but she holds it, controls the arabesque coming down. Very unique. Back handspring straddle down there. Look at all the flexibility. You know, gymnasts, their strengths, they try to emphasize, and you see that with her on the beam and the floor exercise. Just beautiful. She has great lines. Nice, unique move, moving down onto the beam.
And again, have to make sure not to touch the floor when she does that.
Exactly. And that's called a sheet jump, which is a pretty difficult jump. The thing the judges are looking for is that her head actually releases back and her feet come all the way up to her head, not just her shoulders. So not easy to do when you lose that eye contact of the balance beam. Front aerial, back handspring, step out. Nice full turn. She scored a 9.95 against Georgia on this event. Let's see how she can finish. 2.5 twist, dismount, great job. You'll see she's just a great twister. You see it on the beam and the floor. Again, whatever their strengths are, they tend to utilize them throughout the different events. There's that blind landing, 2.5 twist, just a slight hop off to the side there, but a great finish for Corey.
Boy, you've said that so much tonight, haven't you? It's
well, they
just
add
a
up.
slight hop.
It just adds up, though. And in a national championship, those are just really going to make or break a team.
Back with more from the O'Connell Center in Gainesville. Stay with us on Sun Sports. Excellent tradition here at the University of Florida. And last year's team, the first SEC champs in 18 years. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It has. And that was my best memory as a team at Florida, is winning that 1989 SEC championship. That was awesome.
Well, now it's off to the beam for Arkansas. The Gators on floor exercise. Samantha Cortez going all around tonight, and so far has a 9.8, 9.7, and 9.8. So she's been consistent in this competition.
And her top score last year on this event was a 9.825. Came twice, once against Florida and once against Auburn. Actually helped Arkansas upset the Tigers.
It's amazing how good Arkansas has gone in just the last couple, 3 years, the improvement in this program. Real credit to Mark and Renee Cook, the co-head coaches.
Well, for those that don't know collegiate gymnastics, this program has only been in existence for 5 years, and they have already attended a national championship as a team, and they've just done a wonderful job with this program. See front aerial. See her jump combination. Another thing, it is very difficult to travel on the road and compete on an event like the balance beam when you're used to your balance beam. It's very challenging.
Are they different?
They're very different. And, I mean, even if it might be the same beam, sometimes they're just a little bit different setting. Makes it a big challenge. But her dismount back, handspring layout, step out right into a full and a stuck landing.
And Samantha Cortez concludes a very solid evening here in Gainesville.
Taking a look at her dismount. She was leaning back a little on that layout step out, but punched it right into that full twist for a great finish.
9.80 for Cortez, native of New Jersey. Now we go back to floor. The Florida Gators on floor routine. Now the Gators with a slight lead, about a half a point heading into this last rotation. They need good scores, starting with Murray.
And it's great to see her back on this event. She has even learned a new skill this year for this event. Nice full twisting double back. Going into her second pass, punch front, tuck double back, perfect. And she's a second-team All-American on this event, the sideline most of last season, only appearing in 2 floor lineups. So she is the only Gator gymnast this year to not get a new floor routine. She didn't use the one she had much last year, so.
Just kind of like practice to get ready for this year.
Exactly. You'll see the Gator chomp in every Gator gymnast routine. Taking a little breather here before that last tumbling pass. Pike double back. She's got to be pleased with that performance.
Tiffany Murray for the Florida Gators after a frustrating 07, off to a great start in 08.
And look at this power. Pike double back and a perfect landing.
9.850 the score for the Gator. Murray, a senior, like Reed and Willis, 3 members of the senior class this year after a 5-member senior class a year ago. Now Miranda Smith, who had that significant bars routine for the Gators earlier. She's a third-year sophomore who competed for UCLA as a freshman in 2006. Spent last year at a junior college not competing in collegiate gymnastics.
She's starting with a full twisting double back. Look at that height. I mean, a little bit of balance issue on the end there, but just because she had way too much power. And one thing that's great to see about all the Florida starters, potential starters on this event, start with an E tumbling pass and finish with a D. That shows you the difficulty that they have. They are jam-packed with talent.
I know a lot about D's and E's, but E and D are harder than A, B, and C.
The higher you get, kind of a little bit different than scoring as far as grades, but the higher you get, the more difficult the skill. So the E is the hardest level. You see 2 front layouts there. And that's her thing really, is just trying to control all the power that she has. Now she is the level 10 floor champion, and guess who she shared that title with? Amanda Castillo.
How about that?
Isn't that neat? All she has is her last tumbling pass. Wow. Nice high pike double back. Couple steps there. That's really going to cost her score.
But that has been the story all night for the Florida Gators. Those little steps, little hops on landings or at the end of tumbling runs, keeping the Gators from posting great scores, but they have been consistent with solid scores throughout the lineup.
Well, again, you get that adrenaline going, and sometimes it's just hard to control, but look at the height on that. Very powerful tumbling.
And a 9.775 for Smith. So her first competitive floor exercise routine as a Gator is a good one. We stay with Florida on the floor and Ashley Reed.
Her career best floor mark is a 9.95. Full twist and double back.
Ooh, did that heel touch?
She stayed in, barely, but she did. You see the mat there is just to kind of absorb a little on the landing, so they have to draw the chalk for the boundaries there so the judges can see that they are, and you see the judge there looking to make sure she's staying in bounds. Pike double back. Couldn't quite see there with the gymnast, but again, real close to the sidelines. There's that Gator chomp.
Reed, who made it to the NCAA floor final last year, 3-time All-American. 5 different Gators have earned a total of 16 individual All-American honors. And there'll be a few more at the end of this year, I'm sure.
It's just a great Florida team. They have so much talent. I would think the biggest challenge for Ron is figuring out who's going to go into the lineup because they're all so talented. Last pass, front layout, front full. And I love that. Very unique ending for Ashley.
And she had something similar to that last year, a little different.
She did. I think they got the new floor teams, but I know I always liked that part, so I'm glad she added it back in and then added a little extra to it. Taking a look at that last pass.
And a 9.70 for Ashley Reed. That is her lowest mark so far this year, and may have included a deduction for stepping out as we get set for Corey Hartung, who's had a very good night so far.
Well, she's just missed consistent, and I love this music. Apologize, very popular song right now. Starting with a front double. And again, twisting is her forte, so all of her tumbling passes include twisting, not flipping.
Yeah, I keep waiting for them to come out and with the Stones or the Beatles or something like that that I can relate to as far as the music goes.
Triple twist. You don't see that too often in collegiate gymnastics. And I love her choreography, just utilizing how graceful she is. Volunteer coach Jeremy Miranda has done a great job with this routine and the others as well. Really trying to find something that works for each gymnast. Corey was named the most outstanding gymnast on this Gator team for 2007, and you can see why. Whip, 2.5 twist. What a difficult finish. That's a graceful Gator chop there.
That's almost a nibble. That didn't qualify as a chomp, did it?
It counted. And you can see why she's been named All-American on the floor exercise for 2 years on this event.
Junior out of Irwin, Pennsylvania, Florida's Corey Hartung. 4 for 4 on her performances this evening.
Again, there's that last tumbling pass, whip, nice high 2.5 twist. Very difficult on the landing, but she has no problem.
9.875, 3 of her 4 scores, 9.875 or better. More Florida on the floor. Casey Jo McGee on the beam. When we return, stay with us from Gainesville. Crowd of over 5,000 here at the O'Connell Center, and a little earlier chanting some orange and blue back-to-back, led by Melanie Sinclair and Amanda Castillo, who also carried the flags in when the Gators first ran out on the floor. And so why not end up with their floor routines, the final 2 floor routines for the Gators tonight. And we'll start off with Melanie Sinclair. going all around in this evening's competition.
And when she's gone all around, she's placed either first or second. That's how awesome she is. But take a look at this. Layout, double back. Just a slight bobble on that landing. Lots of power. Second telling pass, front layout, front full. She was the SEC Gymnast of the Week after winning the season opener January 15th.
There are just some gymnasts that are worth the price of a ticket. Melanie Sinclair, Amanda Castillo are two of them. They seem to be having such joy of competing and performing, and the crowd gets it.
And that's what's awesome about collegiate gymnastics. And you see the girls in their bios, they're talking about what they love about collegiate gymnastics. It's the team aspect, having each other cheer for you, having these great crowds cheer for you. It makes it so exciting compared to the level 10 gymnast or elite gymnast. Nice finish with a pike double back. And finishing with my favorite move, the gator chomp. Wow, she's just the height of her tumbling and all is just incredible. Power on that. Look at that double layout. Very difficult pass to start with. She learned that new this year.
9.850 for Sinclair. And now we go to the final beam routine for Arkansas and Casey Jo McGee going all around, having good scores so far. Everything 9.80 or better.
And she's tied for 25th nationally on the beam. Great event for her. Switch lead into tuck full.
It's a long way from home when you grow up in Oregon and you end up competing in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Exactly. There's a round off, layout, step out. A double turn. I said how difficult it is to do a full turn on the beam sometimes under the nerve issue of a competition, but a double turn, that's incredible. Very difficult skill. Doesn't look quite as hard as like the flips, but it is very difficult. She tied the school record on beam last year with a 9.95. You see a side aerial.
We're not seeing many 9.95s this evening. In fact, haven't seen one. 9.925 is the best score we've seen. We've only seen one of those.
Well, let's see about this dismount. A double twist, and there's the big hop there at the end. That'll cost her at least a 10th. That's just a solid routine for Casey Jo. Taking a look at this dismount. A double twist, and she held on just a little long. You can see she absorbed maybe a little too much on that landing.
9.850 for McGee, and Arkansas has to be pleased. Not one bad routine that had to count throughout the evening on the road against the third-ranked team in the country, and they've performed at a very high level. Not as high as the Gators, but at a high level. And now Florida will wrap up its competition with the SEC floor champion, Amanda Castillo.
And she's a great finisher here for this Florida lineup. Nice full twist and double back. And there's a smile there after that great height on that pass. Her music is a mix of Gloria Estefan and Jennifer Lopez. Round off whip, back handspring, tuck double back. Amanda had a little trouble on a routine against Georgia, forgetting the routine a little bit, making it very difficult. Not a huge deduction on that, but just more or less a technical error, I guess, just looking at and seeing that a few things are not quite right. She won 6 floor titles as a freshman for the Gators.
4-time All-American, 3rd the NCAA All-Around, so that tells you how good she is.
All she has left is her last tumbling pass. You see a little breather there as she runs. Round up back handspring, nice high pike double back. You can tell she's excited about this routine. Wow, great finish for Amanda. Taking a look at this great tumbling. Back handspring, pike double back. And look at the height, and this is at the end of the routine when she's tired.
A 9-9-0 for Amanda Castillo, wrapping up the floor routine for the Gators. We'll check the results when we return to the O-Dome. Stay with us on Sun Sports. Both teams assembled on the floor here at the O'Connell Center as they get set to honor the individual winners and the team for today's competition. Let's check out the results. First on vault, Corey Hartung wins once again, a 9.925 for Hartung, leading a 1-2-3 sweep for the Gators. On the uneven bars, a tie. Casey Jo McGee and Melanie Sinclair tie for first place. Peacock and Hartung share third. We go over to the balance beam where Rebecca Zeiser and Corey Hartung both matched 9.875s. McGee, Sinclair, and Reed also strong performers. And on floor exercise, Amanda Castillo, the All-American for the Gators, comes through. Emily Peacock with a strong finish for Arkansas. In the individual all-around, it was Corey Hartung picking up her 9th victory of her Gator career. Melanie Sinclair edges out Casey Jo McGee for second individually, and as a team, the Gators win it by almost 1 full point. A strong performance for Rhonda Fain's Florida Gators.
Really pleased with the performance on vault and on beam as well. Floor was great. Again, we weren't able to put in Nicola. We chose to take her off of vault and floor to let her rest, but use her bars and beam. So as far as that goes, could have done a little bit better there. But we're really pleased with everything else and the way they performed and how they were aggressive. And they understand that we need to go back and work on these little things and that they're not 100% pleased, which you shouldn't be, because we still have to improve quite a bit by the end of the season.
I felt great. At every meet I come in here determined and ready to go, and I just take one event at a time, just like every meet. I get myself ready mentally and physically in the gym, and then for every meet I come in here feeling the same, determined and aggressive and focused on every event.
A determined, focused performance for the Florida Gators, the third-ranked Gators winners today over Arkansas. We thank our producer, John Rubin, and our entire Sun Sports crew for all the work in bringing you the sights and sounds of this meet between the Florida Gators and the Arkansas Gymbacks. For my sidekick, Melissa Miller-Schubeck, I'm Larry Vittel. Thanks once again for joining us, along with 5,000 others, as we saw the Gators get the win.